Hello friends, welcome to Gikkudiaries YouTube channel. It is the day after India won the Champions Trophy for the third time and under Rohit Sharma, the second consecutive ICC white ball triumph. And to discuss India's victory in the Champions Trophy, I have a special guest, K Srinath, a former cricketer who played for both Tamil Nadu and Karnataka in the Ranji Trophy. Not just that, K Srinath has been a reputed umpire, BCCI first class umpire who is just too short of 100 first class matches as an umpire. He has also stood in some important IPL matches. And let us go straight to K Srinath and talk about India's victorious campaign in the Champions Trophy. Sri, it's an honor and privilege to have you on Gikkudiaries. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Zico. Thank you very much.
So, the day after, how do you feel India winning the Champions Trophy? As it for a viewer, does it take time to sink in these kind of accomplishments by the Indian cricket team?
Yeah, certainly it's a surreal feeling. And post what happened in the New Zealand Test match series and in the BGT, we again came back into white ball cricket and we rediscovered our form by beating England 3-0 in the ODI format. And then with a lot of speculation and people talking about was India being given an unfair advantage by playing only in Dubai. Putting all those things to rest. I think excuses, blame game are a part of this game. When people don't do well, they always try to find excuses and way out rather than reflecting on their own game. But putting all those to rest, I think this has been a fabulous victory. There were so many reasons going into this tournament. The coaching perspective, the form of senior cricketers, everything was put to rest. I think certainly it took time to sink in. But as a past cricketer and a current umpire, watched the full game yesterday. One of those rare days when I sat in front of the TV for 7 long hours. I think it was really a great victory and very satisfying one from an Indian perspective.
Yeah, you mentioned about people coming up with excuses. One team that has not made a noise about India playing in one venue has been New Zealand. And I always say that New Zealand are the nicest team in the cricket going around. They did not make any noise. They just accepted what it was, went to played their first two league matches in Pakistan, went to Dubai, came back to Lahore, played their semi-final, won against South Africa, traveled back to Dubai. They just didn't make any noise but took things as they were, accepted reality, and gave their best. Even contested for 99 overs yesterday, didn't they?
Exactly, Jiku. People have to understand one thing. When India said, for whatever reasons, it could be political, it could be the decision of the board not to travel to Pakistan, and it was put forward to the working committee of the ICC. And when the ICC put it across to PCB, it was agreed upon. It was a documented format which said India will play on a hybrid mode. They will play all the games in Dubai, and if they qualify for the semis or finals, it will be in Dubai. It was accepted in toto by all the boards, 8 teams which are playing in this Champions Trophy. Then what is this hue and cry about? Did the same England team forget the pundits like Nazar Hussain, Michael Vaughan tweeting and coming out in the open saying that India were given an unfair advantage? India played their home campaign of the World Cup in 9 different venues. And they played in 9 different centers with different climatic conditions, different pitches. They traveled more than 50,000 kilometers. Did the Indian team or BCCI raise a hue and cry after they lost the final? No. I think they need to stop, going around beating the bush, trying to find lame excuses. And as you put it across, the nicest blokes in the cricketing fraternity you could find is the Kiwis. But on the field, they will never give you an inch. And a testament to this Champions Trophy was 2 best teams played in the final. And it was a gripping one. And kudos to India for triumphing. But at the end of the day, the never say die attitude of the Kiwis is really commendable.
What was the what did you like most about this Indian team under Rohit Sharma? It's not just this Champions Trophy, but it has been there for the last 2 years. Final of the 2023 World Cup, winning the ICC T20 World Cup last year, and again this Champions Trophy this year. So all 3 different ICC events, final in all three, winning two of them.
Well, the change, what I have seen is, the fearless brand of cricket this current Indian team is playing. In fact, Rohit has taken the onus upon himself because in the past, we've been part of world events in the semi-finals. We lost the 2017 Champions Trophy to Pakistan. So it was more of hit and miss cases. So it's like taking the bull by its horn, and wherever you see Rohit being a part of a presser, he goes on to say that he takes whatever that comes by his way. The onus is on him to lead by the front, take it upon him when the team loses. I think he comes with a very broad shoulder. He's got his chest open. He says, "I'm there for it." I think the confidence he's shown with the players, that's the most important thing. The classic example is the inspired selection of Varun Chakravarti in the Champions Trophy. I think that shows the sort of maturity Rohit as a captain has shown, and the confidence is given to his players. I believe that players have not been insecure in this atmosphere with Rohit being around as captain in the last couple of years. And, I'm not a great stat man, but records speak. 24 games, right from the T20 World Cup to the 50 over World Cup and including the Champions Trophy. India has won 23 out of 24 games. That is a massive number, Chiku. In bilaterals, Australia held the record of 15 consecutive victories. India had a lot of victories under the belt in bilaterals. But to win 23 out of 24 games in ICC events is something phenomenal. And the record speaks for itself. I think that's the turnaround which Rohit Sharma has managed with this Indian setup. The sort of confidence he's instilled in the players. With that, the self-belief the players have got. I think the camaraderie, the atmosphere within the team is looking much, much better. And we all can see with the exterior and the demeanor of Rohit Sharma. He happens to be a guy who's, that sort of a cool character. At times, not maybe as much as Dhoni is, but he's a guy who's given the players the rope and the confidence to take it forward.
Yeah, we just mentioned about India winning 23 out of 24 in the multinational tournaments. In bilaterals, when they play against each other, they get used to the opposition, the kind of bowling attack, this and that. But in multinational tournaments like the ICC events, you have different opposition bringing so much of variety. So to be consistently winning, it's not like you said, it's not easy, isn't it? It's just it needs so much of preparation and so much of application of mind in that moment to tackle that situation, whatever is being thrown at them. And they've been superb, haven't they?
True. I mean, it's a team effort. It's just not about the playing 11. You've got the reserves, you've got the support staff. So when we say it's a team game, this bandwagon of the Indian side is a massive one. Close to 25, 30 people travel with the Indian team. You've got the support staff, you've got the manager, you name them. So it's a culmination of everything. Planning, strategizing, sitting on the drawing board, getting things on paper is all fine. So the job of the support staff and coach ends there. Once the captain is going to marshal his sources beyond the boundary into the arena, I think the ball lies in his court. So whatever decisions Rohit has taken, some could have been unpopular. The pundits have said that this should not have happened. But end of the day, the end product is what is important. The Champions Trophy is in our hands. So certain selections might have sounded harsh. But in hindsight, you can discuss postmortems can be done. But for the next couple of weeks, till this sinks in, people will talk about the inspirational leadership quality of Rohit, the sort of selections he made, the rope he gave to certain players which nobody expected. I think these are the factors that have come together to make this current Indian side the most successful one in the last 3 ICC events.
Yeah, even Rohit, by his own admission in the post-match press conference after the triumph yesterday, he said he felt sorry for some of the players who could not make it, but then he had to make those selection decisions only to suit the requirement and what the team required in that particular say. And here it was Dubai, so what suited them, and that's why he specifically mentioned about being sorry for Mohammad Siraj and a couple of other names that he took. But then he backs his bold decisions and he backs his players that he chooses. And Varun Chakravarti, like you mentioned, has been a classic example. Playing only his second match in this Champions Trophy, a 5-wicket haul, and continuing to do that even in the final.
I think it's a reflection of the thought process of Rohit Sharma and the team management. You said because there was only one change which India made. I think after the first or second game, and Harshit Rana was the guy who was left out, and he got Varun Chakravarti in. Yeah, you said conditions, Jiku. I think it's horses for courses. When you play an ICC event, it's not a bilateral wherein you can make experiments, you can give your fringe players an opportunity. Because the whole talk was around, will this Indian attack be as potent as without Jasprit Bumrah?
Yes.
There's not a single person who's come out and said, less Bumrah, this Indian time came out trumps. But with due credit, if they had Bumrah around, maybe we couldn't have seen an Varun Chakravarti making an impact in this tournament. But without him, yes, with an inexperienced, I would say inexperienced fast bowling attack, but they didn't have choices. But the way he used Hardik Pandya at the top, losing him for a couple of overs, maybe sometime in the middle, that showed the sort of game plan he had, and he read the situation well. So overall, I think yes, that's the way he's been. He reaches out to players. He tells them, yes, this is a scenario. The game, this particular game demands this. So we can't accommodate 15 out of 15 in the playing 11. So four have to miss out. I think that open communication channel, which has been very frank with Rohit, I think has done wonders for this team.
Sri, you would have known Rohit and among other so many other players having officiated in their matches closely. What is Rohit on the field? How is he to interact with, and not just Rohit, but other players like even Virat Kohli, for example, or MS Dhoni, for that matter? How do they come across on the field and their relationship with the umpires?
See, it's an interpersonal relationship you build with the players as a match official. I think for any cricketer, what he expects from an umpire on field is to get the right decision. We are human. Tendency to err is always there. But how you accept that, put it across, and move forward is very, very important. Yes, you mentioned three icons of not only Indian cricket, world cricket. Tough. It's a lot of pressure when you have an MS or a Rohit or a Virat on field. You have to handle them. But you find the right time, right situation to talk to them, to subtly put something across. There certainly are people who would accept that because the stakes are very high, Jiku. A margin of one wrong call of a wide or a decision here or there could cost them a game. And then in a tournament, because I've been fortunate enough to officiate them in IPL, where every game 2 points are so much important, especially towards the business end, it becomes a really high voltage. So it's tough in a way, but it's a huge learning when you work with these cricketers. And certainly for a layman who watches cricket, they might form different opinions about these cricketers. But once they step off the field, you want to catch up for a conversation. If I have anything to do with cricket, I think they possibly could be the nicest guys to come across. So yeah, per se, in terms of the cricketing world, three of the biggest icons in modern day cricket. Though MS is retired from international, but he still calls the shots when IPL is on. But with Virat and Rohit, yeah, they are good guys to work with, provided the sort of time you find to get to them and want to convey something across to them. So the timing of the communication is very, very important when you need to get to it.
You have also officiated in probably the future leaders of Indian cricket, and there are talks about Shubman Gill now being the vice captain of the team in Champions Trophy, probably the vice captain in one-day cricket, and then he could take over. How are the future generation, the youngsters who could be the future stars, how are they shaping up as you have seen them? Probably from not just the Ranji Trophy level, but from the age group level, the under 16s, the under 19s, like the Shubman Gills, and you have so many others.
Yeah, I've seen Shubman right from under 19. In fact, even Shreyas Iyer, Surya Kumar Yadav, all these people I've seen them for long from junior cricket. Yeah, all these boys have got a very good head on their shoulders. And the most important is their behavior. They just don't, run around when they're doing well and they sulk, when their form is down. I think looking at the trend in the last couple of years, these guys have realized what it takes to be a winning unit. No wonder they say winning is a habit. So that's something you need to cultivate. It's not inbuilt. So when you lose, the tendency is to, for people to get critical and find flaws in you. But this current Indian team, under Rohit. They have cracked the formula to become a winning unit, just not at home. Mind you, the T20 World Cup victory was in US and West Indies. Again, Dubai. I feel like laughing when they say familiarity breeds. No, India played 5 games on 5 different surfaces. So the key was mindset and adaptability. So a team which came to Dubai and played, they were not mentally prepared or they were not quick enough to adapt to the conditions. So whether it was chasing or whether it was putting up a score on board to defend, I think Indians were smart enough to do that. Why doesn't the world accept the fact saying that, taking all the boxes, this Indian type deserved to be there? So the future for Indian cricket augurs really well. And yes, a tough shoes to fill maybe in the years to come. It's not going to be easy to fill in a shoe maybe in a couple of years' time or whenever people like Virat or Jaddu or Rohit call it a day. So only time will tell about that. But certainly we see the youngsters who are coming up. Of course, KL Rahul, typically you can't say he's a youngster, but he's been around for 10 good years now. And he brings the calming experience and that influence into the team. So I think this particular team is in good shape. And I believe when transition happens, certainly that void will not be seen. And certainly these youngsters, as we spoke about, could be Shubman Gill, could be Shreyas Iyer, or it could be KL Rahul. I think these guys are ready to take forward the legacy and certainly ensure that this winning habit will continue for a much more longer period of time.
And you just mentioned about KL Rahul, who is from your own home state. Should I say Karnataka is your home state or Tamil Nadu, Sri, first?
First is Karnataka, then comes Tamil Nadu.
Okay,
So it is Karnataka.
Right. So KL Rahul from your home state, and he has been giving the finishing touches remarkably well. And yesterday was just one such example. How is he? What? And he is not somebody who's given that slot, but it has come because he has to fulfill the team's requirements. So KL Rahul has batted from top of the order to middle to even the lower order. What sets him apart and what keeps him cool in such pressure situations? And we also see Hardik Pandya keeping his cool and hitting those 2 sixers when the number of balls becomes less than the number of runs required when it comes to chasing. And we have seen that in the Champions Trophy, isn't it?
Well, with KL, I can associate as basically he's a very technically accomplished player. So that gives him that added advantage. Normally, when you see an opening batter, they are more comfortable facing the faster bowlers. But KL is somebody who plays spin with that much ease as he plays faster bowlers. So when you see red ball cricket in Australia, he was asked to open. And Rohit took up the mantle, he had to come down the order. And then we had seen him bat at number 4 at times in ODIs. This particular tournament, he was slotted at number 6 because they wanted to have a left-hander and Akshar Patel at number 5. So when you talk about a team man, a guy who's flexible, everybody in the cricketing world knows about the technical proficiency and ability of Rahul to play at any different position. But the key is his mental ability to adapt to situations. Very strong up there, and his composure. You tell him on the morning of a game that this is what he's supposed to do. He'll just get into that mode and he's there in that zone. He'll fill in the slot and he'll do the job for you. So the whole talk about the Virats, the Rohits, the Shamis, Shubman Gill's form, all these things. The narrative of Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul was not brought to the forefront at all. These two guys played a massive role. 3 vital knocks which Shreyas Iyer played never came into limelight because in one of the games Virat had 100 and he got an 86 in that particular game. So the half century of Shreyas Iyer went into backseat. Even KL's numbers, though he didn't get a half century, his 40 odd not out, his 30 odd not out, and a vital innings yesterday, you could see that calmness around him and the way he maneuvered the other batters also. I think that's one standout ability in KL Rahul, his adaptive nature and a cool mind and his composure.
And KL Rahul has probably taken the characteristics of his senior namesake, who did it for a remarkable number of years and remarkably well. not a keeper by choice, but he was made to do it. And he did. He even put to shame some of the regular keepers, didn't he? Rahul Dravid. And this KL Rahul is just following his footsteps. So even keeping wickets and doing whatever is asked of him.
I
And
think,
you know Rahul Dravid very well, don't you? And your
of
batchmate.
course. We played a lot of cricket together. Yes, somebody had tweeted, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Harsha Bogle. He said, anybody with the name of Rahul who comes from Bangalore can do what Rahul can. So, I mean,
Right.
that's the compliment he's got. True. I think many a times amongst the larger picture, we don't see the guys who made a massive contribution to it. So now, once the victory is achieved, it's about the talk of the captain, the senior players, their contribution, or the role of the coach, or what the selection committee did to pick players. But obviously, somewhere, the media writing about so many things, or people who come on air and talk about it, I think there certainly should be a special mention to these two guys, KL and Shreyas. And of course, the three left-arm spinners, Aksar, Jadeja, and Kuldeep have been there for long enough. Of course, certainly credit to Varun Chakravarti. And he already has mentioned saying that the amount of comfort he got both from Virat and Rohit helped him a lot to hold on to his nerves. I think these are small things, that can be brought out, which will help these guys to grow in a big way.
What can this Champions Trophy do to Indian cricket? And you said about the youngsters, the future of Indian cricket is in safe hands. Can we say the future of one-day cricket is also in safe hands, or it's a different topic altogether?
Well, bilaterals have been becoming a bit redundant, but how would ICC look at deciding on a policy wherein they can decide on which are the top 8 teams which play the Champions Trophy, or which are the 16 teams that qualify to play in the ICC World Cup? Because this Champions Trophy was played after a gap of 8 years. And to me, losing out of 8 years of Champions Trophy was a big loss. Because to keep this format alive, we had to have the Champions Trophy in the next cycle, the World Cup. Because this is like a precursor to a World Cup. It's a mini World Cup with your top 8 sides playing. So there has to be a point system devised wherein there should not be redundancy creeping into bilateral series where you have most of the fringe players participating and not full-fledged sides. And before, it used to be when there was no T20 cricket, we had Test match cricket followed by ODI series. Because of paucity of time, now they are not able to club one-day cricket with Test match cricket. So altogether, it becomes a different bilateral. So yes, it's up to the appellate body to think over it and how they can revive the whole setup. But yes, going by the way this Champions Trophy went, I think certainly it was an eye-opener and it was a great revelation that there could be so much of entertainment, enthrallment in 50-over cricket also. Because if you're not going to get your audience glued, because they played on challenging tracks in Dubai. So if it's going to be one-way traffic of batters scoring 370 and 370 being run down, the bowlers act like bowling machines. To make it a bit more interesting, there should be a challenge between bat and ball so that the olden day mass that used to come in to watch ODI cricket will certainly spring up. Certainly with this tournament happening now, I feel there is going to be a revival and more interest coming into 50-over cricket.
Shri, talking about your umpiring career, too short of 100 first-class matches. When is that going to happen, and how important is this milestone for an umpire? We talk about players and their milestones, but for an umpire, 100 matches is not easy.
So 7 more to go, Jiko, because the TV umpiring is not taken on record.
Okay, so that is 93 on the field plus 5
as a TV umpire.
on TV, yeah. Okay, so
still seven games to go. Could take another 2 seasons, hopefully. In 2026-27 season, I should be around that corner of getting into 100. Yeah, maybe what I couldn't achieve as a cricketer. Maybe, my aim was to play 100 first-class games as a cricketer, which I was not good enough to get there. So tables turned around, and when I got into this profession, at no point in time I, even dreamt of saying that I will get this far. So I would say in a way that, yes, I've worked my way through, I put in the hard yards, but also I've been lucky enough, thanks to the various stakeholders. And certainly, yeah, the day I get there, hopefully on the 100th first class game, it certainly will be a surreal feeling. But as of now, happy in what space I've been in. So 93 is the number I'm sitting on. You could say no, it was 90s. So 7 more to go. It's some distance. So let's
Yeah.
hope it comes one day.
It will. It will. I'm sure it will. I know how. I know how it feels because for me, who dreamt of first as a cricketer, like any Indian would dream of becoming a cricket player, playing for the country. I did not accomplish that. Then I thought the next best thing was to become an umpire. Tried my hand at 2 years of umpiring TNCA lower divisions, but then that was not a career option. Then the next best thing was to cover cricket and get to meet players and write about them, interview them, know them, and like I have known you over the years, Sri. So it's I know what it feels. I know how it feels to get there. What's next, Sri? What's coming up? How will you be involved in IPL? What is coming? I said you said something about something which is slated this week. So something exciting.
Yeah, Chico, it's quite exciting. A new horizon, which I
Uh-huh.
never dreamt of. I have co-authored a book with a gentleman called M.N. Vishwanath, who's a sports counselor. So we have come out with a book called Handbook Psychology of Cricket. So it's a small book which covers each topics on what cricketers go through and what could help them get over that. Because we had a discussion, and COVID was the period when we saw a lot of cricketers, discussing about depression, the mental side of cricket. They had issues to handle a lot of things. And as you know, we had Graham Thorpe, the accomplished England cricketer who took his life. And we've heard stories from Marcus Trescothick and various other cricketers. So what was uh, thought to be a taboo, not to discuss in open, because something to do with the mind was not something well taken. People would perceive that in a different way. And now, slowly, it's becoming an integral part of sport where people, not only their physical skill set, it's about their mental skill also. So, there are top cricketers, top athletes across the world who've been consulting elite sports psychologists,
Mhm.
discussing their progress with them. So, we thought, why not make an attempt with this? With quite a bit of research, talking to a lot of former cricketers, getting in some articles from reputed cricketers and strength and conditioning coaches. We've just culled in a small package, and we are having the launch on 14th of March at the Century Club in Bangalore.
All of you.
So hope the book has come out well. Hope it reaches the audience well, and the readers certainly can have a look at it, because this is a topic that is not which is very widely discussed in the sport fraternity.
Very true. You just mentioned about Graham Thor. Why go that far? We had our own BB Chandrasekhar, who you and I knew very well. You have known him much closer and played with him, been associated with him. It's a very sad loss. It's I don't know what goes through their mind, how they don't come out in the open. It's just a matter of, but it's easier said than done, isn't it? It's just they have to just come up, discuss with somebody, but then how do they do that? So probably this book has answers to so many of those questions.
Yeah, hopefully it provides quite a few insights in a very simple way. So certainly for not only for aspiring or budding cricketers, it could also be of use to many of the players who are currently, playing at domestic or top level also.
Hmm.
So we've just given it an honest try. So let's hope for the best and see what's in store for it.
And probably some lessons in life also that can be that those examples can be put to use, isn't it? So that's
Certainly, it can
yeah,
relate, it can relate to daily life, people in corporate life, people who are at home, whomsoever. So it's a very simple learning, and not generally, it's basically with relation to cricket. But many of the topics that are covered can certainly come handy in day-to-day life also.
that's
So
right.
it's
Yeah.
an open thing.
Wonderful, wonderful. All the best for the book, and wonderful listening to you. Wonderful talking to you, Sri, and thanks again for coming on the show. Fantastic,
Thank you, Jico. Pleasure's been mine. Thank you very much.
and hopefully seven matches will come soon.
Thanks, Chico.
and many more.
Thank you for your wishes.
So relax in your 90s. Don't get nervous. All the best. Take care.
Thanks, Chico. Thank you.
Bye-bye.